Just got back with the mean machine. Got a full load on her. And we are up to our ears in oak. I don't even think I want to dump that right there. See if I could split this stuff tomorrow, although I do have a delivery in the morning. Oh, where do I put it all? This is Bill at the woodshed trying to make room for a load of logs. Actually 3 loads in the mean machine, and I'm gonna stack it here. So I'm drilling holes in that plywood to try and give it more air behind it. I'm gonna have to get some pallets to put down on the ground because those are all rotten and everything on the bottom was really moist and wet. I threw this over here. This is stuff I burn in the man cave. I did chop some of this stuff out behind here. Got a hole there, but I don't have anywhere to put this wood right now. I thought about stacking it on the back side of that, but that's wood that's for sale over there, so I don't want people to be confused. And there's a big mess down in here. Can't really see it, but there's a lot of roots and limbs and bushes sticking up. I'd have to do a tremendous amount of work just to be able to get that cleaned out. Don't have the time for that. So I guess what I'm going to do is take the mean machine, back it up to the wood splitter over there, and start splitting and stacking it. But I got to get some pallets first. That's where I'm headed now. As you can see, we got a lot going on. Here I am at RJ Walker down in Scranton, Kaiser Ave, and they got pallets up the yin yang. So we're going to pick through what I can, take them home. This is Bill at the woodshed, back with some pallets. And we're working it out. I'm going to stack it up higher, come out further. Here we are at the woodshed. I'm going to use my Father's Day tape measure. .3/16 48. 64. I can't come out that far. Gotta have enough room to get my wheelbarrow through here. So I'm thinking about cutting this pallet in half. That's really going to help me out. That's 21. figured out yet. I usually shoot first, ask questions later. I do have a 4-foot by 10-foot pallet. I hate to waste that on the ground because that makes a good sidewall. I knew that wood is still going to be in my way. That's what I get for not moving this wood on the end down here. Still in my way. I don't have anywhere to put it. I don't want to handle it 100 times. I probably already handled it 10 times. Alright, I'm taking that wood that's stacked and I'm moving it over to here on this pallet off the ground up against the garage. And then I will make a pretty good box here to stack 3 rows of wood, 10 foot long. Try and go 5 feet high at least, maybe 6 feet. That's the plan. So you don't need to see me bent over picking up every piece of wood, but that's what the plan is. I'm moving that from there right over to here. So I was able to move the wood over, and then this is what it's kind of looking like so far. So the plan is right now I'm going to cut these. I'm going to cut this end off all the way across, and then I'll cut the bottom board short so it can go down in, and then these boards on top will just overlap the other pallet. So that's how I plan on fitting that in there. So I gotta get my circular saw. Now before I cut that bottom one, I'm going to stand the pallet up so I can go up higher here, and I'm going to screw that right here across to it. So this will have to be even skinnier in here. So I think I'll put my end up first. I'm doing something like that right here. Wish it was wider, but maybe not. I think we're going with that. Let's get the drill. It's so warm in there. It's like probably 90 degrees inside the man cave. It's impossible to be in there for more than 5 minutes. You don't even want to be in there for 2 minutes. Pretty good for oak. Get this one started. Bad camera work because of tight space there. I can't put the camera back far enough. It's up against the man cave so that I can have a wider angle. But what I'm doing is I'm drilling that Swiss cheese sheet of plywood that I drilled all the holes in. I'm putting a screw into that pallet that's up high on the back, so it'll help hold that. Again, because of no room with the camera, you can't see me cutting that pallet off. So what I'm doing is taking the board off the end of the pallet so I can overlap it on top of the other pallets, and it'll fit down in there. If I have to, I'll slide that back under it to give it more support. I just might have to cut these off too. That's what I'm going to do. I'll even screw around trying to measure. Voila, it's overlapped. Alright, now we're ready to stack firewood back and forth. 3 rows, 16 inches, so I'm going to stick out 48. If I'm not straight on this side, who gives a shit, it'll overlap a little bit. I know I'm not square. And I did drill holes in that plywood to give it more air. And away we go. I semi have the wood splitter in position. I might move it a little differently. I need to move these pallets out of here so it's not blocking my stand. I'll back the machine up and start splitting that wood. That's where I'm at. Let's see if I can get some of that to the end without dumping it on the splitter. Want some at the end. Ready? I'm afraid if I go any higher, they're going to dump on the ground. That's manageable. So we're getting stuff done. We're splitting, tossing over here, then we'll get stacking soon. Here at the woodshed, splitting wood off the mean machine. Throwing it over into our new stacking area. Have to stack, I don't have enough room. Plus I want to see exactly how much wood do I get out of one big load of oak. We'll see if I get a full cord, or I don't think it's going to be a full cord. I think it's going to be 3/4 of a cord. That's my estimate. Well, it's Thirsty Thursday in the morning, about 6:30. I'm going to stack this wood before I go to work. Get something done today. That way I could finish splitting that other wood later on after work. Got to be able to get through here. Let's get her done. There she is, stacked up. Still got a ways to go. Still got quite a bit in the truck. So we're going to see how much a truckload really works out to be.